Hello and happy Sunday. It's Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, October the 13th. Yep, it is middle of October somehow already, and I have good news. Knoxville was actually feeling like fall today. It was, I think, 44 when we got up to walk this morning, and the high was like, I don't know, right around 70. So, whew, finally have some cooler weather here in Knoxville. But if you're watching this later on YouTube, it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. If you don't want to see all the high hellos, just go ahead and grab that little scroll bar and drag it over to about 10 minutes because that's when it kind of dies down. Otherwise, the rest of you, hey, hello, I hope you will say hello back. And if you are brand new, I hope you will let us know so that we can welcome you. And hello, Irma. Hello, Carol. Carol has the grandbaby. How's she doing? She looks like, Peanut looks like she's just going, you know, I know she's only, let me think, how many days old would she be now? But I know she's already growing like a little weed, and her mommy and daddy look so happy, and so does Grandma. Hello, Star. But yeah, so it is Sunday, October the 13th. Is that right? Sunday, October the 13th. This is chat number 143, and it is titled 7 Tips to Conquer Stress. I don't know how many days it is until Christmas, but I know we're all needing some tips already to help, to help conquer stress. Hello, Myra. Hello, Claudie. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Kathy. And hello, Jim. So yeah, if you're watching this with us live, please do say hi and hello. Hello, Mary. And if you're brand new, let us know so that we can... How many? John just popped in to say it is 74 days until Christmas. I don't know why he has this information. But anyway, so we have 74 days to panic. No, 73 days to panic about that. But we're going to talk about stress tonight, about conquering stress tonight. Hello, Trish from sunny California. Aloha, Kathy. Hello, Sandy from northeastern Kansas. Hello, Sandra from Dingman's Ferry. Hello, Rosie. Oh, and Rosie, we're going to look at my nails in a second. Hello, Patty. It's Patty, P-A-T-T-I, and it's Patty's first time from Wyoming. Hello, Patty. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Patty. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Bernice from Northeast Texas. Hello, Marlene. Hello, Tedders didn't say hi yet, but I saw her sneak in. So we're going to go ahead and just bomb her and say hello. Hello, Sandra. So it is October the 13th. Oh, yeah, and Trish says thank you for the update on Christmas. Okay. I'm sure that has something to do with Disney. But anyway, hello, Carla. Hello. Yes, hello, Tedders already said hi to you when you snuck in. Hello. Yeah. So everybody say hello to Patty, P-A-T-T-I, and welcome her. John says it is 74 days until Christmas tonight. Hello, Barbara from the Crossroads. Tonight we are talking about 7 ways to conquer, or 7 tips to conquer stress, and we're going to need it. Yeah, because we have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, other holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. They're all crammed in there together. All of them, no matter what you celebrate, they're all crammed in there together. And even if you don't celebrate one of them in particular, if you work anywhere or if you're outside of your house, you're going to be in the middle of it anyway. Okay. And, oh, Rosie says she's getting so many compliments on her nails. And I forget which color it was, Rosie. Hello, Lisa. Mine are, I'll just show you while I'm already distracted here a little bit. Mine is, let's see if I can get, oh, they're glow in the dark. Hello, Lynn. They're glow in the dark. So I think, oh, there we go. I think now it's focusing on them. And yeah. Hello, Susan. So these are Here for the Booze, which I think is hilarious. But anyway, they are glow in the dark. So thank you, Casey, for those. Casey is a Color Street nail artist. Is that what you call it? Anyway, whatever. She has them if you want them. And these are like in my top 3 favorites. I have stared at my fingernails all day long. So staring at my fingernails has actually kept me from doing some other things. Yeah, and Trish said she just celebrated that twin 7th birthday yesterday, and her grandson's birthday is in a month. Woo, so see, even without Christmas and Thanksgiving, she's got a lot going on. Hello, Sandra from Chicago. So, hi, hello, everybody. Oh, yeah, Rosie's are literally dead. They're called Literally Dead. So she has a different version of the nails than I do, but hers are called Literally Dead, and she ordered them from Casey, too. So, anyway, yeah, it's just, let's see, I think it's colorstreet.com/CN Bohannon, Bohanan, I think. Anyway, they're pretty awesome, and I'm getting used to them, and I'm using these and reading before I go to bed as a reward. Hello, Loretta. Hello, Vicky from South Texas. So, we have talked about rewards several times. We're not talking about them tonight, but this is one of my rewards for good behavior, and reading had to do with our, let's see, it was a couple of chats ago, maybe 3 or 4 chats ago, and we were talking about sleep. So I already have my hot tea ready because I'll be winding down shortly after the chat. And hello, Alicia. And I'll be winding down shortly after the chat, and I'll be reading a little bit. So Casey has taken a book. I should have brought it out here and showed it to you all. She would have been so impressed if I had. But she took a book, and she marked it with tabs for me so that she could bite off little bits. Actually, that would be perfect to talk about here in just a second. Hey, John, do you care to bring me that book that's sitting over next to the bed that has all the little tabs on it? Hello, Tag, and hello, Carla. Okay, so we will talk about that when we're talking about stress. First of all, back 2 weeks ago, we were talking about my why, and okay, and Barbara wants to know what my shirt says. It says, I was live for chat number 100. So anybody that was live with us for chat number 100, we still have these t-shirts on Spreadshirt, and it's just spreadshirt.com. And if you watch this later, hello Kim, if you watch this later on YouTube, when we get to the end on YouTube, wait, hello Sherry from Chile, New England, yay! If you watch to the very end, and you look up top, that's to watch the next video, and then right here I think it's to subscribe, but the next one over is for Spreadshirt, and you can find these shirts. They're shirts, t-shirt, let's see, these 3/4 length shirts, t-shirts, tank tops, coffee mugs, water bottles, whatever. You can order this on any of them, but it's the I was live for chat 100. Yeah, so you can order that in anything. Okay, but 2 weeks ago we were talking about our whys, and you all have still done so good, so well on your hashtag 30 days of why. So I just wanted to show you all. Hello, Jennifer. And Jennifer says this is her favorite part of Sunday night. And I wanted to show you all my why, because they took absolutely the cutest pictures yesterday. So you all have been sharing your cute pictures, your heartfelt sentiments. The one that I was looking for last week, hello Lacey, that I could not think of, a couple of you all had said that you wanted to be able to either bend over and tie your shoes, clip your toenails, or shave your legs and still be able to breathe. That's the one that I was looking for last week that I couldn't find. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. But here is my why, and I think this should cover all 30 days. So tell me that is not the cutest why ever. That is also why I take Mondays off from work. This is why we are closed. This is why we were closed on Monday. So tell me that's not the cutest why ever. Okay, but y'all did a great job on your whys. Great job, ladies. Okay, and because I want to talk about this book that John has brought me out here now, let's go ahead and move on to our topic. So last week, who sat your bottom in a chair? Who sat your little bottom in a chair and attended a physical workshop? Or let's see, if you did that, if you sat your bottom in a chair, give me a thumbs up. Let's see some thumbs ups. If you're watching this live, you can do thumbs ups, and thank you all for your compliments on Alyssa. So give me some thumbs ups. Yeah, if you sat your bottom in a little chair, and if you attended with us here live, or if you did both, let's see some hearts. And if you're not watching with us live, you will just have to do a thumbs up emoji or a heart emoji in the comments somewhere. If you're watching it on YouTube, again, it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. You can just do me a thumbs up or a heart emoji. Like Lynn just did, you can do that. Like Trish just did, and like Lacey did, and like Marianne did. Or if you're watching this on Facebook later, you'll still have to do that. Yep. So you'll still have to give me just a thumbs up or a heart emoji. But here are your Bravo stickers. Bravo, ladies, for your good work. Good work. And Rosie says, only with us. But bravo for your good work on doing that. Last week we were talking about hitting rewind to move forward. And I used that several times last week, not so much in my weight loss efforts or weight maintenance, weight loss efforts, whatever, but more in just life things, like, okay, so we started out here, I wanted to be here, but I ended up here, I ended up like way over here. So how did that happen? And just kind of rewind the situation and say, okay, what happened? So how did we start off? Hello, Patty. How did we start off, on this track, and then just go, way off over here. So we did that several times, and a couple of people had really good ones. Y'all did pretty good with your homework this week. So bravo to the few people. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Loretta gave me a bravo for doing the chats. Thank you so much. And and Vicki didn't get Bravo stickers for all of her 30 days of why. So I'll have to go back and do that. We actually left and went to Cherokee, North Carolina for a couple hours yesterday. So I was missing about 6 hours worth of Bravo stickers. So thank you for letting me know that, Vicki. I will go back. But for those of you who did your homework this week, bravo for that. Had a lot of people that were reflecting on not just situations where they wish it had gone differently, but but had a couple that went back and rewound, a situation of how it went well so that they could go back and think, okay, I started out here and then I did this and then I did this and then I did this. And it was a success, so they rewound to figure out what they wanted to repeat, so that they could make sure that it was repeatable. So that was very good. And sorry, we will be sipping tea tonight. So the cooler weather in Tennessee, great. But of course, now we all have the sniffles again. And we all just got over whatever was blooming, a few weeks ago. So, Tennessee is a lovely, lovely place to live. But it's, it's a little bit creepy all the time. Do want to comment. I did find the oat milk. So last week, I was talking about making this and I said that I had never seen oat milk and I had never had it. So this was a complete accident, oh, and Janice switched to her phone so she can see the comments. Okay. Finding the oat milk was a complete accident. We have a traveling dinner here in our lofts and we try to have one, about every quarter. So about every 3 months. And one of the ladies is vegan and another lady is vegetarian. And one of the families, their children are vegan. The parents are not necessarily. And it is chat number. Betty wants to know what chat number it is. It is 143, Betty. Their children are vegan and they are raising the grandchild is being raised vegan. So we try to keep it, a meat free, if as much as we can, meal. So I was making vegan gravy, vegan sausage gravy. Figure that one out. And I made biscuits to go with it. But when I went to get my cashew milk for the gravy, the store that I went to did not have. First of all, they did not have any non-refrigerated, non-milk, plant alternatives, for dairy. And then when I got over to the refrigerated section, to check it out, I was like, great, because it was really limited. But they did have the oat milk. So I went ahead and bought a carton. I guess it's like a half gallon size carton of the oat milk. I did not realize this when we got to the party. A lot of kids that are not drinking dairy products, like maybe they can't have dairy, but they also either can't have nuts or they're with friends at school who can't have nuts. They're using the oat milk as a substitute. What a great idea. What a great idea. So I went ahead and got some of the oat milk. And I have to say, it's good. And it thickened up so pretty for the gravy. The gravy was absolutely beautiful. And I'll have to show you all a picture of it later. Of course, I kept tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it. So to be able to tell you what the recipe is right now, and sorry. Woo. Anyway, to be able to tell you what the recipe is right now, yeah, I'll have to keep tweaking it before I can tell you that. But anyway, so it was really good. And the oat milk, I'm going to go ahead and say, if you wanted to make this recipe, the oat milk was good. Okay, so we were talking about rewinding. Let's talk about stress. We are going to skip to this week. Not skip. We're going to go ahead and move on to this week's topic. So this week we are talking about 7 tips to conquer stress. So it's no surprise the holidays are coming up. No matter what holidays you celebrate, there are holidays coming up. So whether you celebrate Halloween, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever you celebrate, it's coming. It's all coming up. Somehow we've all managed to cram all of our holidays, all of our bigger celebrations. A lot of them are crammed into like 2 months, or 2 months and a week. So this week we're talking about 7 tips to conquer stress. I think this one is an excellent one for all of life. It doesn't just have to be about our weight loss efforts. It can be, when kids are driving you crazy. It can be when work's driving you crazy. It can be when you've just got too much to do. And, there's, when you've got 10 pounds of sugar and you've got to cram it into a 5-pound bag. So I think this one's a really good topic, for that. So your weekly this week, I did not get to grab a copy of it. We had to skedaddle and get out of there, but I didn't get to grab a copy of it, but I did print it out. So this is what it looks like when it's printed out. So it's full-size sheets of paper when you print it out, and it does take up a couple of pages. I did go ahead and print out the attachment, the hyperlink that was with it, because I thought it was, good as well. But this is what they're saying. So let's talk about stress. Yeah, let's talk about stress. Studies show that over time, it can lead people to choose less healthy foods, overeat, and gain weight. Imagine that. Hello, Liz. Imagine that. And let's see, and overeat. And it makes us a lot less happy. And, we've talked about happy in past, chats. And we've talked about how being happy actually helps, with our weight loss efforts. One thing that helps is to realize that everyone gets stressed. Everybody gets stressed. Everybody does. No one is immune to it. Nope, not even your friend who claims to have it all together. A 2018 Gallup survey showed that over half of Americans reported feeling stressed just within the last 24 hours, higher than any of the other centuries polled. So even with all of our modern conveniences and, having all these high-tech gadgets, and things that can help us to multitask and everything else, we are actually adding to our, oh no, Carolie's got to run because her Steelers are playing. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Okay, Carol Lou. They're Casey's favorite too, so I'll let you off on this one. And the baby's super cute, so we'll give you a pass on this one. But it is all of these high-tech gadgets and all of these, all of these things that are supposed to help us and are supposed to save time. They're supposed to provide less stress. I think they're just adding to the stress, me included. So I'm going to show you one thing that I'm doing to relieve, to lessen the stress. So number one, they say breathe it out. Who remembers, gosh, it's probably been, well, we've talked about it twice probably in the last 2 years, but talking about breathing it out. Who remembers the kid that came home and their mom was real upset, and said, oh, and Janice needs this chat right now, but who remembers the kid that came home and said, oh gosh, and Barbara said she's gonna need this. She'll be with her, in Florida with her in-laws on the 15th or the 20th. Yes, you will. So Barbara, write all this down. But he remembers the kid that his mom was really stressed out, and he was like, Mommy, blow out the candle. And she was like, what are you talking about? He said, blow out the candle. Their teacher had taught them that when you're getting, too upset, when things are kind of getting out of control, just to act like you're blowing out a candle. And so he went, yep, and Rosie's just said it, blow out the candle. Lynn just said it. So and pretend like you're blowing out a candle, because it makes you stop, makes you kind of recenter yourself. You take a deep breath in, and then you exhale out to blow out the candle. So it seriously is a proven fact that breathing, if you just take a couple of deep breaths, it can relax you. It can lower your blood pressure a little bit. It can make you maybe not react so quickly, on things that you were going to react so quickly, with. This one yesterday was for sure for us. Get a hit of nature. So we drove to Cherokee, North Carolina yesterday. John had a fiberglass camper rally that he wanted to go to, and it wasn't just sitting in the car. I mean, it took us like a little over 2 hours to get there, but it was so pretty yesterday, and the mountains were so pretty because you have to drive through and around the mountains to get to Cherokee from where we live. And then when we got out, the weather was perfect. The atmosphere was perfect. It was a campground. Even though we weren't camping, we were just outside, and we were outside with other campers. And we met a couple of people, and they actually invited us to go to their potluck, and invited us to go inside of their camper so that we could have a look around, because we were interested in the kind of camper that they had. But John would not let me stay for the potluck because they are losing the host and hostess who have kind of sponsored, have put on this rally for the last few years. They're losing them, and they were looking for somebody to take their place. Now, we've never met these people before. I know I learned one person's name while we were there. We never met these people before, but John kind of, yeah, thank you everybody, and we left because he was afraid that I would sign up to be the hostess of this camper rally. Anyway, okay, but being outside in nature, except for the ducks. We had a weird experience with ducks, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, use your tools. So your tools, you can use your tools. Your tools aren't just like when I saw the use your tools, I was thinking, oh, okay, e-tools or measuring spoons, or because that's what I think of when I think of tools. So they say, think about similar stressful moments you've faced in the past. What helped you to manage? Maybe it was talking to friends, going to a yoga class, or cuddling a pet. Those are tools. So I didn't think about those as being tools. But if I get too stressed out about something, unless Dusty is the culprit, I can just pick up Dusty, and snuggle him, because he's always ready for a snuggle. You can take a walk. You can phone a friend. Do people call each other anymore? You can text a friend. But those, so use those kind of tools. Think again. That one's going to be a hard one for me, because they want you to stop and think again. So whatever you think is going on, just stop and then think about it again. They say, does a difficult day at work leave you convinced you deserve pizza? Maybe sometimes. Consider whether the pizza will really make you feel better or even worse later on. A few minutes of solitude can help you decide what you want to do. So just going away, being alone for a few minutes, maybe doing number one, which was to breathe it out, maybe just separating yourself from everybody, and breathing. Maybe the situation's not as bad as you think it is. If you just stop and calm down for a second, breathe and think about it. So just give yourself a little break, and also to realize, that nobody's perfect. So, the next one is give yourself a break. If you're prone to engaging in unhelpful behavior due to stress, don't judge yourself. Stress is part of the human experience. It is part of the human experience from day one, from minute one. That is stress. When you come into this world, that is your first encounter with stress. And when you were born, you didn't go, no, let me back in. You were born, you came out, you started breathing, you opened your eyes, you cried probably, and you were ready to take on the world, absolutely ready to take on the world. So give yourself a break. You're not alone. Everybody has stress. Everybody has emotions. Just don't let your emotions, take control of you. It's okay to cry sometimes. And blame can end up adding to the tension. So if you don't give yourself a break, if you don't, again, separate yourself for a minute, kind of calm down, kind of reassess the situation, that can add additional stress. Well, if you're already under stress, you don't need it to be multiplied. Reach out. I think this one's a great one. One proven way to handle tough moments: get support from people who care about you. Call or text a friend or a family member. You can text them what you're going through or just catch up. Either way, you're likely to feel better. So talk to us. How many times has somebody come into the closed group and just said, oh my gosh, what's going on? Sometimes you can only talk to other, like-minded people. Remember what we've talked about? Normal people. Yeah, and Loretta's exactly right. Loretta says it takes a strong person to cry and ask for help. She's exactly right. So don't think about that being weak. That is being a strong person, just to say, I can't do it. I can't do this. I need some help, and asking somebody for help. But get that support. Reach out. You've got Connect. You've got the ladies in the If You Have an Egg closed group. You have us, if you don't mind it being a public, here on the page, if you don't mind it being a public discussion, you can always send me a private message. People do that all the time. But reach out, reach for some help. Call one of your other WW buddies. Go to a meeting, talk to some people. I will tell you, we have people who come to our physical meeting just to I swear sometimes I think it is just so that they can, kind of reach out and touch somebody and go, okay, there are other normal people. There are other people who are just like me. Other people messed up today. Other people didn't track. Other people gained a little bit of weight back. Other people didn't have the best week. There's other, or they're having stress at work or whatever, and how did they handle it? I think it's so important, if you can, to attend a physical workshop every once in a while, or, keep attending with us here, because I promise you, everybody here has been in, or somebody here has been in the same boat. Whatever is stressful for you today, someone here has been in that same boat. Maybe even today, because there will be an awful lot of us here by the time we get done watching this. But reaching out. Don't forget to go on Connect. So Connect has, and let me just show you real quick. I wasn't planning on looking this up, but let me show you real quick. In case you do not know this, if you go onto Connect, and it's easy, this one is easier to do from your phone. It's funny, to get the weekly, you have to log onto the computer, but this part is actually easier from your phone. So if you go to Connect, the little three people, now I'm on an iPhone, so the little three people down at the bottom, and if you go, you can search members and hashtags, or you can go right here and you can browse groups. So notice who's right there. Yeah, so you can go here and you can browse groups. And when you go to those groups, this is on WW Connect, so you have to have a membership to go into this. This is one thing that you can't participate in, without a membership. So if you're having stress because you're in your 60s, look, here's a group called In My 60s. Here's a group called In My 50s. Here's a group called 70s Plus. So if you are stressing out because you think, I'm the only person who's in their 70s. In our group, I don't even know how many of y'all there are, but there's quite a few. And then here's an entire group, 3,000 posts. There are 9.8 thousand members. There are almost 10,000 people on WW Connect that are in their 70s. There's somebody having the same issues you're having today. There are food, running, people who are running, walking, mindset. These are really good. One is a Get Back on Track group. 52,000 people are in the Get Back on Track group. Okay, so if you need to get back on track, almost 53,000 people have needed to get back on track before you. People who gratitude that are trying to, feel gratitude, during your journey. 15,600 people. Self-compassion, 20,400 people. Mindfulness, 26,000. Always Improving, 11,000. And Headspace fans has 933. There are people to connect with. There are people to reach out to. They're there. Okay, so the last thing is to set goals. So believe it or not, this book that Casey has made for me, or has gotten ready for me, this is about goal setting. So to set goals, if you're prone to stressing out about getting everything ready, and everything being perfect, and I'll never get it done, and it's nobody's gonna help me, and blah 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 blah, whatever. If you're stressing out about that, just give yourself a break and learn to prioritize, or to set smaller goals, or to ask for some help, so that somebody else can help you. So they're saying, if you're going to stress out about it, and they use Halloween, as the example, because that's coming up in 2 weeks. Here's the, here for the booze, nails to prove it. But to set smaller goals. So this has nothing to do with weight loss, but this does have everything to do. I know, Liz, look. They're ghosts. Hold on. Let me see if you can see them. This one may be pretty good. Can you see that? There we go. And they glow in the dark. I wish we could turn the lights off, but the iPad won't let me do it. But anyway, so set the goals. So I like to read. I enjoy books, but I don't ever read a book because it takes me forever. It takes me forever to read a book. And then I get stressed out about it, and I go, well, everybody else reads faster than me, and everybody else gets done, and everybody else has already done and moved on to the, hello, Evie, has already done and moved on to the next book, and I'm still sitting here, and I'll fall asleep, and then I get stressed out about it, and so I just don't read. I don't read unless we're going to be in the car, for 10 or 11 hours, headed to Disney, and I know, okay, well, I'm at least going to be awake, for 7 or 8 of those hours, so I can read, a whole bunch then. So to help me set a goal, to help me break it down into smaller bites, and remember, sometimes you have to reach out for help. So I told Casey how I was feeling about reading, while I wasn't getting anything read, because she keeps lending me books, and I keep bringing them back unread. Then, so I reached out for help. Then I gave myself a break and realized I don't read as fast as Casey, and I don't read as fast as my mom. I just don't. And then Casey used our tools to help me set goals. So what she did was she decided that I could read about 17 pages. I think maybe it's 27 pages anyway, a night before I fell asleep. So she went through and found good stopping places for me. So she has actually tabbed. She has taken this book and she has tabbed a good, what she considers to be a good stopping point all along the way. So instead of me having to feel like, hello Joyce from Ann Arbor. So instead of me feeling like that I have to figure out where to stop, and if I fall asleep, not knowing where I ended up and having to start all over again and on and on and on and on and on, she broke this down for me. And you could totally do this, or you could ask somebody for help. If you're having trouble breaking your whatever's stressing you out right now, if you're having trouble breaking it down, ask somebody for help. So I would have never thought to do this. Plus it's fun, the little colored tabs. So she figured out where some good stopping points were, and she went ahead and tabbed these. So I know tonight that I only have to make it. Now that first one is one that I already did. So I know tonight I only have to make it to this orange tab, and I do not have to stress out about not making it beyond that tab right there. That's as far as I have to make it. So she's broken that. She has given me permission to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 days. So if it takes me 20 days to read this, that is okay, because she has broken this down into 20 tabs. So I reached out for help. She used the tools. I gave myself a break, and I'm setting goals. Oh no, we only have 1 minute to talk about this last one. Okay, so 5 ways to make make your insanely long to-do list feel more manageable. This was a click through, and I thought this was super cute. The first one was take a deep breath. Breathing again. Does that sound familiar? The second one was don't give it your all. You know, if you're that overachiever and if you have to do all and everything and whatever, just back it up a little bit. Channel your anxiety into excitement instead of getting wound up about what all you've got to get done. Get excited about, oh my gosh, and Liz says it was your daughter, right? She's playing with a kitten that weighs 1.1 pounds. How sweet. See, that'll reduce the stress right there. Just reduce my stress thinking about playing with the kitten. But channel your anxiety into excitement. So like instead of getting wound up about what you've got to get done, get excited about the company that's coming. Be realistic. You know, I can't read a whole book that fast, but I can, you know, read the little tabs. And tally up everything that you have done. So there again, that's going to tally up everything that I have done. Okay, so your homework for this week. Let me see, Vicki, how are you stretching your limited budget now? Yeah, so Vicki, we are actually gonna do like a whole thing on that, because I'm doing just okay. Okay, so your homework for this week is on the 7 tips to conquer stress. I want you to pick one thing, just one of the 7. So either breathe it out, get a hit of nature. I keep saying, trying to say hint. Get a hit of nature. Use your tools. Think again. Give yourself a break. Reach out or set goals. So pick one of those, and I want you to give me an example of what you did. So if it was set goals, I'm going to use this one as my homework. So here is my homework. I'm going to, instead of stressing out about this and not reading a book, because I want to, that's part of my new nightly routine. And I have been doing this almost every single night, all but just a handful of nights since we had our chat on sleeping better. But so this is going to be my homework. I'm going to do set goals, and I'm going to set, these are my goals. So I've already done my homework for this week. You pick one of those 7. Do your homework, tag me in it. So again, it's at If You Have an Egg. If we're here on the Facebook page, if we're in the Facebook group, it's at Kelly Green Milligan, and it'll pop up. My name should pop up. A link to my name should pop up. If you are on Instagram, it's at If You Have an Egg. If you are on Connect, it is at ScrapNStamp2, ScrapNStamp2. And if you were doing this on the blog or YouTube or something like that, you'll just have to tell me, because it doesn't let you tag me. Okay, so that is, then does everybody understand their homework? Because I kind of sped the last of it up. We have 28 minutes, and I don't want to stress out about Halloween, because we are talking about Halloween next. So, and I do not want to stress out about that. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back for our extra credit portion, and we're going to be talking about Halloween and candy and what comes with that. So give me just a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So this is part 2, and I just covered it up. That's not going to stress me out. That is okay. So this is part 2 of chat number 143, and that was 7 tips to conquer stress. And I'm sorry, Pat says, is there a difference between a pressure cooker and an Instant Pot? I don't know, because I don't have an Instant Pot. Who can answer that question? Okay, so, but this is part 2 of chat number 143, 7 tips to reduce stress. So we're going to reduce some stress about Halloween now. I don't know how many of you celebrate Halloween. Again, even if you don't, even if that is not a holiday that you celebrate for whatever reason, there's going to be candy around. There's going to be weird food around. There's going to be food that you only see at Halloween. And we're going to talk about that. So Halloween, when we lived in a house, that used to be our holiday. So we let everybody else have Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, you know, all those other, hello Johnny, all those other, you know, holidays. We used to let somebody else celebrate them, somebody else decorate, you know, whatever. We always had Halloween, and we would decorate to the, you know, to the gills, whatever. We had a blow up screen. We had a, oh no, Jennifer said Facebook keeps closing on her. Silly Facebook. But we used to have a blow-up screen. When we had our big RV, we would keep the blow-up screen out there at the RV. We would set up tables, and we would have food. We'd have chili. We would have, hello Jessica. We would have chili. We would have nachos, hot dogs. We'd have pizza. We would have, yeah, we're going to talk about candy corn, Sandy. But we would have all that food, you know, so Halloween was our, you know, was our thing. So we've all, you know, and John, hello Jackie, and John is dying to get down to Disney. for Halloween one year so that we can do the parade and we can enjoy all things Halloween. We were there sort of a crossover for Halloween one year. We weren't really there for Halloween, but anyway, so we love Halloween. We love handing out candy. We love, I don't know, we just love it. So let's talk about Halloween. Let's talk about things that come out only at Halloween that are near and dear to us and remind us of our childhood, and that we would feel, I don't know, neglected or something if we did not participate in it. This is one of those things. So as a child, we did not get a lot of treats because our parents we did not have a lot of money, and my parents had spent most of our money on a farmhouse that they wanted, and so we ate mostly things that we grew or raised or whatever. So we didn't keep a lot of things. This is one of the treats though that we were allowed to have, once a year, and you could pick either Frankenberry, Boo Berry, or Count Chocula. Who knows? Give me a thumbs up if you remember Frankenberry, Boo Berry, or Count Chocula. So this is retro. It's back around again. Anyway, so Frankenberry was my favorite. Boo Berry was my sister's favorite. And I guess my mom maybe must have liked Count Chocula because we always ended up with one box of each. And when we would get down to the dregs to the bottom of the box, my sister and I would team up together and we would mix them. So instead of just having Frankenberry or just having Boo Berry, we would mix Frankenberry and Boo Berry. And apparently we never got much of the Count Chocula. But anyway, so Frankenberry. So I went ahead and got some Frankenberry. Barbara, you've never seen, you're kidding. Barbara, you're kidding, right? You've never seen Frankenberry, Boo Berry, or Count Chocula. Let me just say, if you don't already know what it is, don't go get some. Do not go get some. And Rosie has a box of Count Chocula. Yeah, I can't help it. Okay, this is not the end of the world. I just want to let you all know that a cup of Frankenberry is 5 smart points. It's 5 smart points for a cup of Frankenberry. It comes out one time a year. Frankenberry, Boo Berry, Count Chocula comes out one time a year. So I went ahead and got myself a box. I also got a box of multigrain Cheerios because I'm going to cut it half and half because it'll still, trust me, Frankenberry is berry enough that cutting it half and half is still going to do it. But still, it's 5 smart points for a cup. There's a lot worse things for 5 smart points. Anyway, that's some things that are near and dear. Okay, so more than likely though, what we're all going to be surrounded with is candy. So people are going to be bringing candy to work. Everywhere you go, there's a bowl or a bucket or a cauldron or something of candy sitting out that you don't necessarily see all year. And a lot of different kinds of candy. Some of the candy only comes out, at one time a year. And I know who was it? Somebody that I know likes Boston baked beans, I think they're called. I've never had them, not planning on trying them, but they said they mainly come out at Halloween, so they were really dreading that because that was one of their favorite candies from their childhood. And again, this nostalgia. I mean, when I walked by and saw that box, I was like, oh, it took me back. It took me back to the farm. We used to have to ask for things like parquet squeeze margarine. We weren't allowed to have things like that. I know that's not the best thing to have, but anyway, we weren't allowed to have things like that just because we couldn't afford them. My mom was the one who would sew the lace on the bottom of your jeans because you grew too much that year and they couldn't afford another pair of jeans. So that was my mom doing that. But I would ask for parquet squeeze margarine. I would ask for that in my stocking because there was no chance that we were gonna get it any other way. Anyway, so nostalgia, things like that, at times of the year, like Halloween, like Thanksgiving, like Christmas, like Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, things like that. There are gonna be things coming up that you need to go ahead and think about. So I already knew that Frankenberry, because I had stressed out about it, 5 or 6 or 8 years ago, whenever it was, thinking, oh my gosh, it's Frankenberry and Boo Berry. And I think that year, I got a Frankenberry, a Boo Berry, and a Count Chocula, all 3 of them. And I didn't check the points. Of course, back then it was points. I can't remember if it was points or if it's points plus, but I didn't check the points. I was just like, throw caution to the wind, and just started mixing them. Just started mixing them and eating them. That's what I was eating for dessert every night were those 3 cereals. But then when I stopped and reflected back and went and checked the points, it's just 5 points for a whole cup of it. That's not a bad snack at night, it's 5 points. And plus I really enjoy it. Okay, so first, before we go through our list of Halloween candy, I want you all to tell me what this has in common. So we have a Twizzler, a Jolly Rancher, 2 of the Tootsie Rolls, the Fruit Chews, and a miniature, a Reese's miniature. So we have that in one bag. Then in the second bag, we have 15 pieces of candy corn. So that's 15 candy corns. And then in this bag, we have a 1 1/4 cup of Frankenberry. So what do you think? A 1 1/4 cup of Frankenberry, 15 candy corns, or this little bag that has a Reese's miniature. Now that's a miniature. That's not the snack size. And the miniatures are like, they're this big. They're that big. So a mini, a Reese's mini, a Twizzler, like a little one string or whatever of a Twizzler, 2 of the Tootsie Roll Fruit Chews, and a Jolly Rancher. So what do you think? What do y'all think the 3 of those things have in common? While I get another sip of tea. Actually, I may have to make some more tea. While y'all are thinking, let me make some more tea. At work, Betty says at work we are going to trick or treat at each other's desks. Everybody's supposed to bring a bag of candy. Then I can't see the same thing. Okay. Barbara says 5 points. Rosie says same points. Michelle says same points. Vicki says same points. Marlene says hi, Jen. Johnny says same points. Okay, hold on a second. Oh wait, somebody just said there's sugar. That's a correct answer. Even though that's not the answer I'm looking for, that is a correct answer. So let's see. Oh, Loretta says there's sugar. Oh, yeah. No, that's not it, but that's a good one. Teresa says points value. Pat says 5 points. Lynn says they're proportioned. Okay. Yeah, they are proportioned. You're exact. Yeah, that is a good. That's not what I was looking for, but that's a great thing that they have in common, Lynn. They are all proportioned. Okay, so remember I said this was a 1 1/4 cup. So a 1 1/4 cup. Oh, and Jackie says a big portion and a small portion. So a 1 1/4 cup of Frankenberry cereal, of my beloved Frankenberry cereal, is 6 smart points. A 1 1/4 cup. So the serving size is 1 cup, but this is 1 1/4 cup, 1 1/4 cup. It is 6 smart points. This is 15 candy corns. So 15 candy corns, 6 smart points. So that is like 15, let's see, 6 divided by 15. So what is that, 2 1/3 or whatever? So eat like, so that right there, that much right there, that's pretty much a smart point. No, 2 smart points. No, 1 smart point. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so 15 of these, 6 smart points, and the Hershey's Mini. So the Hershey's Mini, and again, remember, it's this big. It's a tiny little mini. So a Hershey's Mini, this 1 strand of Twizzler, 2 of the Fruit Chews, and a Jolly Rancher. All of that is also 6 smart points. Now this, I'm not going to be as likely to sit down and eat, because I don't know, I'm just not a big sit down and eat candy, person. But I'm probably way more likely to pick this up and like take it to a movie, stick it in a bag, whatever. But that's 6 smart points. This is 6 smart points, and this is 6 smart points. So, that could go to a movie with me. This could be sit at home, whatever. Anyway, so I just want to point out all 3 of these are 6 smart points. So don't just assume this one is a bad one for me to just sit and grab them. I actually do like candy corn. I know there's not a lot. I don't know. So what, and Marlene, that is a lot of points. But if you think about it though, I would have grabbed, that's a handful. Let's just see how many this is. Let's see what this looks like in my hand. So 15 candy corn. That's not even a handful. That is not even a handful of candy corn for me. Okay? So that versus I probably would have, I don't know, 3 or 4 handfuls of this. And that would be, let's see, 6, 24. So that would be like 24 points before I even realized, what I was eating. So yeah, that's not even a handful for me. This I could just sit and eat a little bit at a time. I'm much less likely to just grab I don't know why, but I'm much less likely to grab a handful of this cereal, like a handful, and cram it in my mouth. This, I'd pop almost, not all of them, but, you know, probably half that. That was probably like 2 bites for me, you know, and that would go down really fast. This is going to take a few minutes. So if I took this to a movie, I would probably eat the little Reese's Mini first, just because it's a little bit of chocolate. And then I'd probably eat the Twizzlers second, and then probably eat the little Fruit Chews next, and then spend the rest of the movie, you know, sucking on the Jolly Rancher. So that's just an example to show you and to slow you down a little bit. So, you know, we talk a lot about knowledge being power. You know, you've got to know before you go. So if you go, or if you're going to a party, or if you're going to be in a situation, you know, where they're going to have a big bowl of candy corn sitting out, you know, or something else, yeah, just be prepared. So we're going to talk about the actual candy now. Betty says, would that be better than getting popcorn and a Coke at the movie theater? Depends. How much are you planning on eating? Because if I had 3 handfuls of candy corn, that's probably about the same as an unbuttered popcorn. I don't drink Coke, so I don't know how many points that is. And Judy says, same here. She can't stop with the candy corn. See, I could stop. When I was done with a bag of this, I could stop. The candy corn, I'm going to keep going back to. Okay, let me show you something else. So if you are the one who's giving out the candy, if you're handing out the candy, please do not keep it. If you have a problem with candy, you know, I do with some candy. So if you have a problem with candy, or if you have a problem staying out of the candy, please do not keep it in a container like this. So this is easy access. You can see everything that's in here. I don't need to be walking by this 6 and 7 and 12 times a day and seeing what's in here. So if I'm the candy giver outer, please put it in something that's opaque. So even if you just put it in a paper bag, even if you just take this and put it down in a paper bag so that you can't see it. And if the candy bowl is at work, put it somewhere away from you. Like, don't let them put it in your office. If you're the receptionist or the hostess, bless your heart, put it out somewhere where the customers can get it. Ours is not on the, it's not on the hostess desk. It's not where we can all just sit there, you know, and grab and eat out of it. It's actually in a vessel sink that we put over on the other side of the room. So you have to walk across the room, and it's kind of obvious. I'm making a trek across the room to go get a piece of candy out, because that's the only reason you would be walking over to that side of the room. Okay, so don't put it in a clear container. Put it in an opaque container or a paper bag or something that you can't see through, because you're going to be much less tempted if you can't see through it, you know, all the time. Everything that's in here, and we're not going to go through every single one of them because I do have some numbers I want to read you off. The most points in here, I do want to show you this, the bag that I bought for this, that I bought for the shop. They have the little tiny ones. So the little tiny Skittles, it has the little boxes of dots. It's got the little 2 things of Twizzlers, and it does have, hold on, there's something, oh, the little Whoppers, little tiny things of Whoppers. So it does have the little tiny ones of those. So make sure, if you have to buy candy, oh, here's what I was looking for. This is a Heath Mini. So look how little the piece of candy is that's in there. See, okay, let me fold it. I'm not going to open it because I'll eat it. See how little that is? How little that piece of candy is? That's 2 points. So if you buy something that's chocolate, buy something that's like this chocolate, because this is also 2 points. And this little tiny Heath bar is 2 points. So this one's 2 points, this one's 2 points. So know before you go. Buy candy that you don't like. So I'm a big fan of that, buying stuff that you don't like and that you're not going to eat. Like people who don't like Twizzlers, a lot of kids like Twizzlers. So if you don't like Twizzlers, buy that. Yep, and Lynn just said it. Buy candy you don't like. If you have to buy it, buy candy that you don't like. Sandra doesn't get any kids at her house, which would have broken my heart when we lived in a house because I wanted all the kids. Yeah, so that would have broken my heart. But we did. I saw somebody, and I can't scroll back through there. No, right there it is. Jackie said the Oots pretzels, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the Oots pretzels, they have little mini bags at Sam's, and those are 1 smart point each. Those are brilliant because you can pack those in a bag. They last forever. I can tell you that months later, those things are still good because they're individually packed, and it's just 1 smart point, per. But anyway, so buy the ones like this that are little tiny ones. Everything in here is either 3 points or less. So this one is 3 points. the Whoppers, the little Whoppers, there's 3, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 little Whoppers in there. That's 2 points. This is 2 points. These are 2 points. I think this one is 2 points. The Heath Bar is definitely 2 points. The little tiny Kit Kat is 2 points. These I think were 2 points. There's the Tootsie Roll Pops. I love these things, so I don't buy these. I put all of these except for this one for example purposes in my mom's bag to take to the nursing home, because these are 3 smart points. And I can eat quite a few of these. Like if I get started on these, I'm not going to stop at just 1. So these are 3 smart points. So just keep that in mind. 3 smart points, or I can have all of this for 6 smart points, or half of this for 3 smart points. Or I could pick, you know, a couple of things out of here. But yeah, this whole thing, or this is 3 smart points. Okay, this whole container. So I'm going to add this back in because this was in this original container. So I want y'all to guess. So this container, this is not a huge container. This is by in no way, shape, or form a whole bag of candy. And Janice says she wouldn't be able to have all those in her house. Not doing too bad so far, but you know, again, I did my nails instead of getting in the candy. But I want y'all to guess how many smart points is in this whole box. So I think we can agree that this size box, this is about the size of one of the small pumpkins if you take out a small child. So this is about what they're going to come home with. A small pumpkin, not if you've got a preteen who's taking a pillowcase. But how many smart points do y'all think are in here? Okay, Rosie says 100. I'm going to get a sip of my tea while y'all are guessing. Yeah, and Jennifer says there's so many kids with allergies anymore that they buy pencils, stickers, etc. And it might sound boring to the adults, but it's not for the kids. Alicia says 50. Oh, Betty likes peanut M&Ms. Oh, I do too. Peanut M&Ms are one of my favorites. Myra says 45. Jackie says 120. Lynn says 100. Loretta says probably 55. Marianne says 40. Claudie says 74. That's funny, Claude. Oh, and Joni said 32. I started to say, and Trish says 76. So there's only a couple of you all that have not made it end in a 5 or a 0. I just find that funny. I have no idea. It takes us 63. Okay, so there's 4 of you now who have made it not end in a 0 or a 5. I have no idea why that caught my attention or why I even care. Vicky says 245. No, it's just this size box, Vicky. That's it. So this is about, Sandra says 126, Judy says 82, Patty says 130, Sue says 175. This is the size. Ooh, Karen says 359. You're just really trying to throw me off track there, aren't you, Karen? But this is about how much you would end up with. So if you had, so like Alyssa, if we take Alyssa trick-or-treating, which she will go to trick-or-treat at her other grandmother, she's the children's director or something at the church that they go to. So they are having their trunk or treat, and it's huge celebration. So Alyssa will come home with as long as her daddy doesn't, get another bag and fill it up. But Alyssa she'll come home with about this much in her little pumpkin thing. So I'm gonna let y'all guess. Like, we only have 8 minutes, so I'm gonna let y'all guess just a couple more. Okay, Betty says 120. Jenna says 84. Barbara says you can eat the mini M&Ms for less points. That's a good point. That's a good point on points. Okay, so this whole container, so the one that the small child who's too small to eat the candy is going to come home with, this has 65 smart points in it. So everything that's in here, all of this tallied together is 65 smart points. So while I am not recommending that you bring home your small child or grandchild's pumpkin and dump it out and go, well, Kelly said it's only 65 smart points. I had 65 smart points left for the week because I had 6 rollovers and I didn't use any of my weeklies. Okay, I'm not saying save up 65 smart points for this. What I'm saying is, even if you went crazy, please don't go crazy, but even if you went crazy and you ate your toddler's, as long as it's not more chocolate than this, but if you ate your toddler's entire bucket, their entire pumpkin, that's 65 smart points. Write it down. Just write it down and move on. It's one day. I've seen so many people stressing out about Halloween before Halloween even gets here, and they're eating candy now. Like they're just going ahead and eating candy and saying, I'm gonna have candy. I can't control myself. I'm gonna have candy, on Halloween. So they're eating it now because they're not going to be able to control themselves on Halloween. Please don't do that. Please don't set yourself up, for failure. So all of that is 65 smart points. And yes, Sandra says track it and move on. That's exactly right. And Jennifer says snackcidents do happen. Yes, they do. Okay. And Loretta says sugar literally makes her hyper then depressed. Sugar doesn't make me hyper at all. So, okay. So I have a list, and it is on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And if you just search Halloween, you will be able to pull this up. And let's just go over a few things that are on that list. So if you want to know before you go, ooh, Trish says to me, talking about making myself some tea, she just made herself some Alpine spiced sugar-free apple cider. Wow, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Okay, so this list, which is printable. Oh, I hope y'all can see that. The glare on it's terrible. This list, okay. So that is a printable list. This is on, excuse me, this is on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And if you just search Halloween, you'll be able to pull this up. And this list is from a couple of years ago, but I'll rattle off a few of these. 100 grand in a fun size. So the fun size is that little one that's probably about that long. It's probably about as long as this part of your thumb. So 100 grand fun size is 5 smart points, or all of that is just 6. A three Musketeers fun size, 3 smart points. Airheads, the snack size, which is, I don't think I had any Airheads. They're about that long, is 2 smart points. Almond Joy fun size is 4 smart points. I'm sure it has something to do with the protein in the almonds that brings it down to 1 smart point. Candy corn, yeah, we already knew about that one. The caramel apple pie pops, those are 3. A Charms blow pop is 2. Chewy lemon heads, I've got crunch bars, dots, dum dums, let's see, gummy bears. I've got, all this, M&Ms. Sorry, I'm probably going to have to stop talking since I'm getting East Tennessee choked up. But anyway, I don't know how many different candies are on here, but I've got York peppermint patties, Wonka gobstoppers, Whoppers, Twizzlers, Warheads. I tried sweet tarts. I tried to think of, pretty much anything I had seen, in a trick-or-treat bag. I did not have those Boston baked beans on there. The bag I was talking about. Did not have those on there. Okay, so the coughing's going to start. I'm not going to be able to stop it. So don't forget to do your homework. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Oh, don't forget, if you haven't already, we need you, or you're going to want to. It's not that we need you. You're going to want to go over to Instagram if you're already on Instagram. And remember, sorry, today is October the 13th. So don't, this is 2019. Don't watch this video a year from now. Goodness, hopefully I can finish this. Don't watch this video a year from now and think you can still do this. But go to Instagram and enter to win. Our contest. Okay. Sorry, this has really got me choked up. So anyway, remember to go over there and enter our contest. I'm not crying, I promise, I'm okay. Shoo, it's just the coughing. But I'm going to tell you all good night. Have a great week. Please don't forget to watch the next video. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and sign up. Yeah, and it's just this weather. If you lived in East Tennessee, like Barbara knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'll be fine in like 5 minutes. But anyway, watch the next video. Please sign up please subscribe on YouTube, or you can buy a lovely spreadshirt if you click over here. So good night, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Yeah, and everybody, please keep showing your whys. I'm loving them. Yeah, thank you. Good night, everybody. Have a great week.